Hello there. So, Coyote versus Acne releases tomorrow in the UK. I think it's out in the US like next week. But, so this was the perfect opportunity. I did mention this months ago when I done a Coyote versus Acne first trailer reaction uh, thoughts recording. I did think, you know what, this is the perfect time. It will be the perfect time in the run up to its release to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit again. You know, a film that always like revolutionized having live action put in with animation. Now, things like that had been done before, but to a smaller degree, but to have a full feature film doing it and then like, combining like the Looney Tunes and Disney characters and everything like that, it was revolutionary and it still is to this day. So, you know, it's been a long time since I've watched this film until I watched it again yesterday. So this will be my review. There will be some spoilers here. So full disclosure, film that was originally released in 1988 and has been readily available. So, there are spoilers. If you haven't seen this film, I would say one thing. Instead of going into spoilers or anything like that, this is a film that has to be, before I actually go into spoilers, I should say, this is a film that has to be watched. Like this, one of the reasons why I love movies like this so much are movies like this. And watching it to this day, absolutely, it has not only stood the test of time, in many ways, it's actually gotten even better with time. Because you can see, we can sit there and say about the technology and everything like that. Well, even to this day, I honestly think this film from 1988 visually looks a lot better than certain films that nowadays have like $200 million budgets and things like that. It looks phenomenal. It's seamless, but it's not just a gimmick as well. It actually has a really smart plot. Now, again, it's based on a book, things like that, that was came out beforehand. But this to me, this is actually one of those films that's like, it's got the cartoon, so people will say, "Well, it's a kids' film, eh?" It's like, well, not really. When you go into certain things that go, here's the thing: you can watch it when you're like, I first seen it when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. And you, as a kid, you can sit there and watch it and be like, "Yeah, this is all funny and all that." And then there's certain things when you can watch it as an adult, when you once you grow up a little bit. Not that I've really grown up anyway, but I digress. But you can watch it and be like, in certain jokes, we'll get into that in the spoiler section, but you know, this is this film is actually pure magic. I genuinely think this is what, not just technology, like I said about this, but what films are capable of. The imagination on this, and you can even say like, oh, it's technically like it's like you've got the Looney Tunes and Disney and things like that coming together. Like they put together their all rights issue and things like that, and got a lot of these characters appearing in the same film. It would be like if Marvel and DC done a film together in this sense. It'd be like it'd be mind fucking blowing these days, and it would cost about $256 billion or something to make, but whatever. But this the humor as well. There's so much sharp, well written jokes in here. It's so funny, it's just it's great this in it, and you've got the late great Bob Hoskins here as Eddie Valiant here. Now, for all the cartoons in many ways are the draw, and the draw in the sense is like it's humans and cartoons together. But Bob Hoskins' performance is magical here as Eddie Valiant. It's amazing the way he does. He just he treats it seriously but gets the humor as well. It just works. You just have to see it for yourself to see how much it's nuanced as well. There's other nuanced stuff in the story with that as well. Christopher Lloyd as Judge Doom as well. It's like, before there was Doomsday, there was Judge Doom. So there you go. It's amazing. Like to me, this is Robert Zemeckis' his best film. I know people will say, "Oh, well, Back to the Future," and yeah, Back to the Future is great and everything like that, and beloved trilogy and everything like that. But to me, this film's better. I just prefer this film, and that's fine. I might be in the minority with this one because everyone's like, "Oh, it's Back to the Future." Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. But for me, it is Roger Rabbit all the way. Um, there's and this is one of the things. It was like we talk about technology. Unfortunately, he's kind of went down the route of being obsessed with technology with stop motion. Well, not stop motion, but CGI, all fully CGI animated films, and some are better than others. Like Polar Express, I'll be honest with you, nah, that just ain't it. The one that good thing that came out of the Polar Express, I would say, is the character that looks like John Campea, and if you know, you know, so we can make that joke about that. But you know, nah, that just ain't it. You know, I like Beowulf. Actually, that is a very underrated little film. Actually, that's quite enjoyable. And you know, the Christmas Carol film we done with Jim Carrey was actually pretty enjoyable as well. But you know, they kind of developed the technology a little bit in the years after that. But Polar Express to me is just yes, I just they sit right with it. But you know, and he's not really done a great and that's another thing. I'm actually glad this film never got a sequel. You can never have a thing to ruin it because we even heard from Robert Zemeckis himself about a year or two ago. There was an idea out there for a sequel, and they were going to do a digital Bob Hoskins now, and I'm just like, no, I'm fucking glad that I never seen the light of day. Just no, didn't bother. All right, just don't. But you know, I know Forrest Gump's a film that's beloved as well for a lot of people. But to me, of Robert Zemeckis films, but to me, it's always Roger Rabbit. This film's just magical. It's funny. It's charming. It's like laugh out loud funny as well, not just it's a wee bit amusing or whatever. And it treats the audience with respect. It respects the audience's intelligence. And like I said, it's not really a kids' film. This isn't like look, I like the minions and everything like that, but this is a lot better than like just the minions fucking slapping each other. And you know what? That's quite funny. I enjoyed the new Minions and Monsters film. Funny enough, they actually attempted to do a little bit more with the storyline and actually be a little bit, tiny bit more sophisticated with their references and things like that. And that's the one that makes the least money. So, what does that tell you? I don't know, but you know, but well, this is a film that's it doesn't matter what age you are, you can sit and watch this and just get absolutely engrossed in it. It's got little complexities in the story as well. It's so much laughs. We'll go into a wee bit more spoilers and things like that, but like I said, I think you can tell I quite like this film. So you know, some of the things I want to talk spoilers. It's mainly some of the great one-liners you've got in here. That we talk about how things like push the boundaries of that. You've got like moments like when like Eddie Valiant, like he's yeah, Jessica Rabbit goes to see him, and then he ends up his trousers fall down things, and then his girlfriend Dolores comes in, and then he bends down to pick his trousers up, and then bumps his head off Jessica Rabbit's tits. I mean, come on, you would not get away with that nowadays in a PG film. You just wouldn't. And other little things like there's a bit when the weasels try to search Jessica Rabbit, put his hand in the dress, and then there's a trap there, and then Eddie just goes, "Nice booby trap." Just, and it's not just innuendo about Jessica Rabbit though. There's other plenty of great jokes here. You've got like Baby Herman. What a great character that is, you know. And Eddie says to him, "Here, you're quite the ladies' man," and he's just like, "Yeah, the problem is I've got the lust of a 50-year-old, but a 3-year-old dinky." One-liners are just so fucking good here. You know, oh god, there's so many. There's going to be ones that I absolutely miss as well, and things like that. There's when I'm talking about some of the stuff here. What's the one? They're talking about Valiant talks about going downtown to check the probate, and then Roger's like, "Yeah, my uncle Thumper had problems with his probate, and he had to take these big pills," and he's just like, "Prostate, you idiot! Probate." Come on. What film nowadays are you getting, or films in general, are you getting with lines of dialogue that absolutely zing like this? Come on. You know, there's probably a lot. Oh, yeah, the song at the end, near the end, when he's trying to make the weasels laugh themselves to death and all that, and he does the singing the song. He's like, "I'm bouncing off the walls. I'll kick you in the." And then Roger shouts out, "Nose!" The weasel's like, "Nose? That don't rhyme with walls." And Valley just says, "No, but this does." And I think you can guess where he kicks him. So, you know, it's just so beautifully done. It's brilliantly made. The other things that push the boundaries are like the way, like, it turns out Judge Doom's a toon is It's you didn't really figure that one out, but Christopher Lloyd's so great here. It turns out as well the whole subplot was like Eddie Valiant hates Toontown because his brother was murdered there. And it was turns out Judge Doom was the one that done it. I mean, you can sort of guess certain things, like even as an adult now, you're like, yeah, the clues are all there, uh, and things with that. But you know, and you've got like the way he actually gets like hit by the steamroller and things like that is gruesome. Actually, it's like nightmare fuel in that sense. And then when he actually gets up and the music that plays, and then it reveals that he's a tune and things, and it's dear, it really does pushes the boundaries, and people. I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's inappropriate nowadays," and I don't even think. And people say, the anti-woke people will be against the woke people will be against this," and maybe yeah, I'm sure a lot of them would be, especially the Jessica Rabbit thing. But let's be real, the anti-woke lot would be against it too. They wouldn't like the innuendo jokes. Let's be real, all these anti-woke people who are like, "Well, that's inappropriate for family audiences," and yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of these people were a few years ago saying, "Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine should have a PG-13 version out there." It's like just because it won't make money if it doesn't. They were saying that like weeks before the film came out, and then it's got its own R-rated thing. It becomes $1.3 billion. Was the biggest R-rated film rated? Sorry, biggest grossing R-rated film of all time until The Odyssey just passed it like yesterday or something like that. So that was another one the anti-woke mob went after, but not to go down that route on that. But Who Framed Roger Rabbit? An absolute joy from start to finish. Perfectly paced, wonderful film. It's been a long, long while since I'd watched it, but it was an absolute joy to sit and watch that again yesterday, right the way through again for the first time in a good few years. So, there you have it. Just my thoughts there. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and goodbye.